Hello everyone and welcome to lecture number 2. In the first lecture we have discussed about the difference between diamagnetism, then paramagnetism, ferromagnetism, and antiferromagnetism, right? We have seen the difference between diamagnetism, ferromagnetism, ferromagnetism and antiferromagnetism, right? The difference is nothing but the orientation in they are differ by magnetic dipole moments, right? They are differ by the properties in which the major role is being played by magnetic dipole moments, right? Magnetic dipole moments. We have also seen the origin of magnetic dipole moments, right? That from where do the magnetic dipoles moments actually exist inside a material, right? We have seen through its atomic structure, from its basics, right? From its basics we have seen that from where magnetic dipole moments are been originated. Then we have seen that how the magnetic dipole moments will be of the orientation in paramagnetic, ferromagnetism and antiferromagnetism, right? After that we have seen that what happens when a material is being subject to an external magnetic field, and how its orientation of magnetic dipole moment changes, that will decide whether it is diamagnetic or paramagnetic. In diamagnetic, if we see, then dipole's movement will originate in its opposite direction, while if we see in paramagnetism, then it will orient in its regular direction, right? In the applied magnetic field, right? Now, in all these topics, we came across a application of an external applied magnetic field and dipole moment. So we need to find the relation between external applied magnetic field and magnetic dipole moments, right? We can find the relation between this applied magnetic field, external applied magnetic field, and this induced dipoles, this magnetic induced dipoles, right? Induced magnetic dipole moments, right? So how they can be related? they can be studied with two definitions. They can be studied with two definitions, and those are the first one is magnetic susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility, right? Magnetic susceptibility, right? This all things you might have studied in BSc, but we are just going through for a small revision before going to ferromagnetism and antiferromagnetism. Our new topic for MSc will be ferromagnetism, but this is a small revision before that. So what is magnetic susceptibility? Magnetic susceptibility is nothing but the relation between the magnetic moments and the external applied magnetic field. Where M is equals to chi of H. M is equals to chi of H, where M is nothing but magnetic moment. M is equals to magnetic moment per unit volume. Magnetic moment per unit volume. And H is nothing but external applied magnetic field. Right? So we can have a relation between the moments, magnetic moments, and the external magnetic field. We can have a relation between magnetic moments and external magnetic field. The relation is where M is equals to chi of H, where M is equals to chi of H. Now what is chi? M is nothing but the magnetic moments per unit volume. M is nothing but magnetic moments per unit volume, right? M is nothing but magnetic moments per unit volume, right? And H is the external applied magnetic field. H is the external applied magnetic field. Means this red one is H. This blue one, this black and blue one inside this induced one, that is magnetic moment per unit volume, that is M. That is M. That is been oriented to its external applied magnetic field, which has been oriented in the direction towards external applied magnetic field, right? So M is equals to chi H, where this chi is nothing but magnetic susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility. Chi is nothing but magnetic susceptibility. So if we see that what is chi, magnetic susceptibility, what is magnetic susceptibility? That will be M divided by H. M divided by H. M is nothing but magnetic moment per unit volume, and H is nothing but the external applied magnetic field. Means what we understand physically by magnetic susceptibility is if we apply a field, if we apply an external field, you can see these red lines, that is nothing but the applied magnetic field, then the number of magnetic moments induced, the number of magnetic moments which they have oriented themselves in the direction of magnetic field, in the direction of external magnetic field, the magnetic dipole moments, those who change their direction to the direction of external magnetic field, will gives rise to magnetic moments per unit volume calculation, right? So the number of magnetic moments per unit volume, those who have oriented their directions in the external applied magnetic field will be calculated for M. Means what? We have a relation between the external applied magnetic field and the induced magnetic dipole moments in the direction to the magnetic field applied. Right? That is nothing but susceptibility. Now if we think about for a diamagnetic material, then for a diamagnetic material, this is, let us say, paramagnetic. This is, let us say, diamagnetic. Right? So it will have actually in the opposite direction. So the value of chi will be less than 0. Why? Because M is nothing but the induced moments in the direction of an applied field. So it will hardly have any dipoles. Orienting or pointing towards the external applied magnetic field in the direction of external applied magnetic field, right? While in paramagnetic it will be greater than 0 but small. So the magnetic susceptibility for paramagnetic material will be greater than 0. For diamagnetic material it will be less than 0. But for paramagnetic it is greater than 0, but it will be a small value. Right? Because the induced dipoles inside the material will be less. The number of dipole moments which are going to change the direction in the direction towards the magnetic field, external applied magnetic field, will be less. Right? So this is all about the magnetic susceptibility. Now we will also have the field strength, right? As the dipoles are induced inside the material, we will have a magnetic field strength inside the material. Inside the material, right? We will have a magnetic field inside the material. If a magnetic field is there inside the material, then it will have its flux density. Right? So we will also have the relation between the flux density and the external applied magnetic field, right? The second definition is magnetic permeability. Right? Magnetic permeability. Now magnetic permeability will give us the relation between B is equals to mu 0 H. It will give us the relation between B and H. Now as B is over here, B is nothing but magnetic flux density. And H is applied field strength, that is external. Right, external magnetic field. H is the same as what we have seen in the previous one, susceptibility, but we have relation of B with respect to H, that is flux density. As I have discussed that if you have a magnetic material, which is being subjected if you have a material subjected to the external applied magnetic field, right, to the external applied magnetic field, for paramagnetic material, it will induce the dipole moments in the direction to the applied magnetic field, right? If a magnetic field is there, if a magnetic dipole moments are there, then combining the magnetic dipole moments, they will generate a magnetic field. They will generate a magnetic field. Now this field will have a flux density. This field will have a flux density, right? Now what is flux density, right? In a very simple language, if we want to understand the flux density, means we can talk like that. If the number of these lines induced in the material will be more, then the flux density will be more. Number of this moment, magnetic moment, dipole lines, field lines will be less, then flux density will be less, right? So this is the simplest explanation of magnetic flux density. Now density is nothing but the number of flux field lines. If the density is more, the field line is more. If the density is less, field line is less, right? So the flux density which has been induced in the direction towards the external applied magnetic field will have a relation between H with H as B is equals to mu 0 H, where mu 0 is nothing but mu 0, sorry, it's mu, not mu 0, it's mu. Mu 0 is nothing but relative permeability. Relative permeability you can see afterwards, right? This is mu, not mu 0. So this mu is nothing but magnetic permeability. This mu is nothing but magnetic permeability. So mu will be equals to B by H. So mu is nothing but B by H, right? Mu is nothing but B by H, where B is nothing but magnetic flux density, H is nothing but the applied field strength, magnetic external applied magnetic field. So if we apply some amount of magnetic field, external magnetic field to a material, some amount of external magnetic field to a material, then how many flux magnetic dipole moments, how many magnetic flux dipole moments are oriented in the direction of an applied magnetic field, that can be calculated with B. And what is the ratio of B to A? Means the number of magnetic dipole moments induced in the material with an applied magnetic field. That relation is nothing but, that ratio is nothing but magnetic permeability. Magnetic permeability. So if a material is having, if we say in practice that if a material is having more permeability, then we will have more field lines. We will have more magnetic flux density. We will have more magnetic flux density. If we say that if a material is having less magnetic permeability, then it will have less field lines. Then it will have less field lines, right? So this is all about the magnetic susceptibility and magnetic permeability. Magnetic susceptibility and magnetic permeability. These two definitions are both very important. If you understand well this, then it will be more easier for us to go ahead, right? Now, let us go with our topic, that is ferromagnetism. That is ferromagnetism, right? What is ferromagnetism? Ferromagnetic materials in ferromagnetic materials, you will have the orientation of magnetic dipole moments in a particular direction. you have ferromagnetic material, then the orientation of this magnetic dipole moments, this is nothing but orientation of magnetic dipole moments. This is nothing but orientation of magnetic dipole moments. Means what? In absence of external magnetic field, in absence of external magnetic field, the net moment will not be equals to 0 in ferromagnetic materials. Right, in ferromagnetic materials means it will have a permanent magnetic dipole moments, a permanent magnetic dipole moments oriented in a particular direction. Oriented in a particular direction. This direction may be of any kind. This direction may be of any kind. Right? We have came across a magnet. Magnet is nothing but having a permanent magnetic dipole moments. Remember, those are permanent magnetic dipole moments. Understand the word, that is permanent. So without an external field or without any source also, it will be existing inside the material. These are permanent. These are permanent. Permanent magnetic dipole moments. These are permanent magnetic dipole moments, right? So that is known as ferromagnetic material. Now, what happens? This is the case in the absence of magnetic field. In the absence of external magnetic field. What happens? What happens when we apply an external magnetic field? What happens when we apply an external magnetic field? What happens when we apply an external magnetic field? Right? Then we will see the behavior of a ferromagnetic material in the behavior of an ferromagnetic material in the external applied magnetic field. External applied magnetic field. So the behavior of ferromagnetic material, in the presence of external magnetic field, we will study. Right? This is known as hysteresis. This is known as hysteresis. You all might have studied the hysteresis. Right? You all might have studied the hysteresis in your BSc class. We are studying the behavior of ferromagnetic material in the presence of external applied magnetic field. We are studying the behavior of ferromagnetic material in the presence of external applied magnetic field. Right? Now, let us have a hysteresis curve. Right? This is the H side. This is the H side. This is the B side. B is nothing, flux density. applied field, right? This is the applied field. Now for a ferromagnetic material, if you start applying the external magnetic field, if you start applying an external magnetic field, then you will find the curve like this. You will find the curve like this. Means H and B, the induced flux density inside the ferromagnetic material is having non-linear relation with H. B is non-linear, right? B is non-linear with H. B is non-linear with H, right? Now, from here, as when you start decreasing, from here, as when you start decreasing H, you will get this kind of curve, right? As you decrease the value of H to 0, you decrease the value of H, that is applied field, to 0. This is 0 to 0. This is 0. Without applied field also you will get the value of B. You will get this much value of B. This is nothing but the flux density induced inside the material. Now this indicates that without external magnetic field also the material is having magnetic flux density. The material is having magnetic flux density, means it will have a magnetization. It will have some magnetization. Now, if you decrease H, if you decrease this H in the negative direction, then at some point this will become 0. At some point with negative H, positive, this is positive, this is minus B. You will have B equals to 0, means to reduce the magnetization of a material, you need to have a negative value of H. Further, the same cycle will be experienced in the negative portion. The same cycle will be experienced in the negative portion. So this is the behavior of ferromagnetic materials with the applied external field, right? This graph is known as hysteresis graph. This graph is known as hysteresis graph. This is known as hysteresis curve. Yes, we will discuss hysteresis curve in detail in the further followed topics, but this is, we just want to see the relation between the external applied magnetic field and the induced flux density inside ferromagnetic materials. So this is all about today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will see Weiss molecular field theory. Okay, thank you.